Hello.
Salut. Hello. Uh-huh. Ah. I see direct messages here in this platform. Oh, they are already 6 months old. Oh, oops.
Hello.
Servus.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
What's
Hello.
going on, you guys?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Bold and beards, almost everyone.
Yeah. Right. That's the new trend. Or it's just the same age group.
Possible.
You can all use my my avatar. You see?
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yep, good work. Yeah.
So I think we can potentially slowly start because we have a lot of content to share. And anyway, I guess everyone noticed that the meeting is recording. So just yeah, be aware that we are recording. So I will start to share my screen, and slowly we will introduce the topic and the groups, and after we'll give the voice to the two speakers of today. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me know when you see it.
Yes, I see it.
Okay. So thank you for joining the call. So it's we are kind of new as a user group for Adobe and the Adobe Experience Manager. We start this year with a couple of meetings, and this one is another one virtual. We will talk about AI innovation in Adobe Experience Manager and some insight from AdaptTo 2025 events. So quickly, we welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. This is on the screen the co-leader or leader of the DAR region of the Adobe Experience User Group. So myself, I'm Eric Amiel. I'm working in OMIA, and I'm supporting from the Switzerland the user group. Just be aware that this meeting is recorded, and if you have any challenge or any question, you may send any remark to the email you see on the screen, which is advocacy@adobe.com. And now we will have two topics during the call today. The first one will be the future of optimization, groundbreaking on AI features with Adobe Experience Manager, lead by Thomas. We'll talk about the Site Optimizer and the LLM Optimizer. And the second part of the meeting will be done by Ramon from the AdaptTo, and we'll explain what it is. So I give now the microphone to Thomas. So if you want, you can share your own screen, up to you. I can stop sharing mine, and you can share your slide.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Eric. So yeah, nice to meet you, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Thomas, working at Adobe since 4 years in partner solution consulting. I'm specialized in AEM and our wider content supply chain solutions. Yeah, with our team, we are supporting our partners in the EMEA region. And yeah, I'm sitting here in lovely Munich, Bavaria. But yeah, let's keep it short and let's start to the topic. So let me share my screen. Okay. From SEO to GEO, very exciting topic around generative AI, agentic AI. All the buzzwords are included. But yeah, let me build a little bit the story, where we came from, where we are now, and where it's going. So yeah, a couple of, I think it's now already some years ago when I started first talking about AEM Franklin, or what is now called Edge Delivery Services. So we came up with this new technology that speeds up everything, especially the experiences, which has a lot of benefits for the user experience, but also for search engines or search engine results. And we thought, great, we increase the traffic, and that should improve basically everything. It should improve also conversions and everything. But unfortunately, it turned out that it does not automatically improve everything. It improves some things, but there are still many challenges left. And here you can see, of course, by using edge delivery services and having very fast and performant experiences, we can bring more people into the customer funnel. We can improve the acquisition here. But towards the funnel, it's not necessarily becoming more, right? And you might still lose people on their journey because of, I don't know, cookie banners or badly designed forms or I don't know, accessibility issues and stuff like that. So there's still enough room for improvement. And therefore, we launched another tool, which is called the AEM Sites Optimizer. As the name suggests, it sits on top of the Adobe Experience Manager, and it analyzes, well, the whole implementation, but also the traffic. And it gives you recommendations, what you can improve on many angles. And here we see again the whole customer funnel. It basically supports you on the whole funnel here. It gives you recommendations what you can improve in terms of search engine optimization. But it gives you much more recommendations as well, like, for example, what you should optimize in terms of accessibility to be compliant, for example, also with the new European accessibility law, which came in place I think in June. But it also scans for security issues, for vulnerabilities. It even can analyze your forms and give suggestions what you can improve there. So it's a really, really helpful tool. And we are also seeing already great results with a couple of customers, like, for example, here, Hershey. You can see a lot of KPIs could be improved quite heavily. Yeah, but the world is changing faster and faster with all the AI stuff. And when we look at the traffic, how that changes, then we can see that actually user behavior is shifting dramatically. And more and more people are, let's say, using traditional search engines less and less. And instead, they're moving to large language models like ChatGPT and are performing their searches, their researches there. And that brings a heavy shift in traffic. And we can see this. You can see the sources here of those numbers, for example, by using our own tools like Adobe Analytics, we can see the shift of traffic at US retail sites from generative AI sources. And yeah, that obviously brings a lot of challenges, because people might maybe no longer visiting your website at all. They're completely staying in ChatGPT and doing their whole research there, right? And so the LLMs have a really heavy power in this case. So LLMs in the end decide what gets seen and trusted, and whether your brand shows up or not, or your product shows up in the AI answers or not. And that's a quite heavy challenge, right, for marketers. So the marketers really need to have visibility in whether their brand and their products and services are visible at all in those LLMs. And of course, what can they do in order to improve the visibility, or in order to influence how the brand is mentioned? Is it mentioned in a positive or in a negative way, right? So that's really the key challenge here, and that is also what's a new topic of generative engine optimization, or in short, GEO. So GEO is really like the practice of optimizing your content for the LLMs instead of the search engines like we did before, and to make sure that the AI bots can correctly understand your website's content, and of course also recommend your brand in their generated responses. Here we have a short example of Google AI mode. I mean, luckily, the LLMs are introducing more and more citations. So we, more and more still have links, because without the links, if you just rely on the generated answer here, this is really a zero-click journey. The customer may maybe never see your website or never visit your website, right? They're completely staying here in this LLM because you get the answer already there. Luckily, they're also introducing the links and citations here more and more. So it's really the customer behavior is also shifting. The good thing is, when they did their research already in the LLM, then they're already much more educated, and then when they finally hit your website, then they typically know already very well what they want and what they are searching for, and the customers that are finally hitting your website are typically more engaging and have a higher tendency to convert, right? So but we still need to take the whole change in customer behavior into account. And when we look at what traditional SEO looked like and how it's evolving to GEO, then we can see before we were optimizing for search algorithms, and the goal was to get at least, or in the best case, in the top 10 search results to be shown on the first search engine results page, right? Now the goal is more like to be shown or to be visible at all in the generated answer, and to enable the LLM to read your content when the bot or the crawlers is visiting your site, should be able to consume everything that you have there in the best way, in order to give then a recommendation when someone is asking, right? And in SEO, so the website was the primary destination. In GEO, that visit may potentially never happen, right? It's getting less and less, but still, it's still important to have that website, because the generative engines are using your content to learn, right? So it still needs to be there it's feeding them. They're learning from it. Yeah, and the goal now is no longer to be ranked with your URL as high as possible in the search engine, but the goal is more like to show up at all with your name and your product name maybe in the LLM, right, in the answer. So search engines are still relevant and still important. Even the large language models are also relying on search engines and search engine results when they determine whether to look or where to look for a certain information, right? There are these two kinds of motions. One is the regular visit of an AI bot, which comes to your website for training purposes. But then there's also these other motions where the AI is visiting your website live at the moment when someone is asking a specific question. So it's both is important, I would say. Yeah. And finally, the new product we just launched that is helping you with the optimization of your content for large language models is called the LLM Optimizer. Please note that it's called Adobe LLM Optimizer and not AEM LLM Optimizer, because you don't necessarily need AEM underlying it. So that's the difference to the Sites Optimizer. You can put LLM Optimizer potentially on any website. Just need to connect it to your content delivery network, to the logs, and then you can go from there. It's quite important to mention that LLM Optimizer is now available to all AEM Cloud customers as free trial or try before you buy. So when you are an AEM Cloud customer, you will see a little notification in your where is it actually shown? It's in the, I think, in the homepage of the Experience Manager. There's a little window for announcements, and there you can click and start the free trial with one domain and up to 200 prompts. Yeah, and then most importantly, what is this thing actually doing? Here are the key product capabilities. It's on the one side scanning the traffic. It's basically scanning the whole traffic to your website, and it's differentiating then between general referral traffic, also from search engines, but then specifically the agentic traffic. And then you can basically filter between the LLMs, is the OpenAI bot visiting your website, is Perplexity bot visiting your website, which pages is it visiting, which URLs are prominent, stuff like that. And then most importantly, the brand presence. So you can define prompts that customers are probably or typically using to research your brand, to research your products or services that you offer. And our tool is then constantly trying out these prompts, performing it every day, and is analyzing the answers that are coming back from the LLMs. And it can basically make a connection between your website's content, your URLs, what content is there, and make the connection to the generated answers of the large language models. And then it can also perform a sentiment analysis, whether your brand is shown at all in the results, whether the sentiment is good, positive, or negative. And then here in the middle, you can see it can give you a lot of recommendations what you should optimize. And these recommendations can be technical. For example, maybe something may not be visible to the bot, so it's maybe optimized for a human, but not for a machine to read it. That would be more like a technical thing. But it could also be content related. So LLM Optimizer really gives you suggestions what you should change on the content, or where maybe something is missing that people are looking for. And it even generates that content already for you. And you can click on deploy, and immediately have the changes deployed via the content delivery network on the edge. So these are the 3 motions here. It auto-identifies the traffic, it auto-suggests what you should improve, and it can also optimize and deploy those things. Yeah, we're with most of the tools we are developing ourselves. Our own marketing department is the first customer who has to try it out, and with LLM Optimizer it was the same. So our marketing team used the adobe.com website and the Acrobat product as a trial, and yeah, they tried out LLM Optimizer here and could gain quite great results out of it. They could improve the visibility of Acrobat related prompts by 200%, which is great, and then also the traffic increased by 41% thanks to the optimizations they created on our own website. So yeah, that's a very nice first case. We also had a couple of customers that were participating in the early access program. I think cannot name the customers here, but it's some big brands like car manufacturers and so on here from Germany, and they already see really great results here. Okay, so yeah, the prompts, I would say, are the most important thing. So we're moving now from keywords to prompts with generative engine optimization. In SEO, your focus was on optimizing for certain keywords that people enter into a search engine. Now you're optimizing for prompts that people enter into an LLM. That's the main difference. So that the prompts can be much longer than the keywords. Then, yeah, like with keywords, they can be branded or non-branded. So you can put your brand name in there or not and see what the results are. And you can really try out a lot of things. Yeah, the main difference is with LLMs, right? The customers are really having longer conversations with them, which makes it a little bit more tricky. But yes, you can really get really great insights out of it. So I really recommend you to try it out. Even if you are a partner, I know a lot of our partners are customers as well. So then you also have the opportunity to just try out the tool with your own products and services. And just play around with it a little bit. Yeah, then finally, often the question comes up how Sites Optimizer and LLM Optimizer relate to each other and if there are overlaps. And here is the answer. So LLM Optimizer focuses more on the acquisition, and Sites Optimizer has I would say, a larger spread across the whole customer funnel from acquisition to engagement to conversion. It can give you a lot of recommendations on page or how to optimize your experiences on page and on site, right? Whereas LLM Optimizer focuses really just on the acquisition and through the LLMs. If you're now excited and want to check your own website and want to check the visibility of your own website, I can recommend you to download and install this little Chrome extension. It's called the LLM Visibility Checker. And you can just run it on your own website, and it gives you a score how visible your content is to AI bots. And you can also click on the detailed analysis, and then you're getting a comparison between what a human sees and what a bot can detect. And here on the left side on the slide, you can see some top blockers or challenges that are blocking bots and AI crawlers from scanning your website. Some CDN providers are, for example, by default blocking LLMs, or JavaScript heavy dynamic rendering also is not visible two bots, right? So you can play a little bit around with this Chrome extension here. Yeah, that was already more or less my last slide. I only have one last recommendation. Today at 5 o'clock, so in 1.5 hours, there is a technical enablement for LLM Optimizer for Adobe partners. So if you are a Adobe partner, you can go to the Solution Partner portal and watch that today. I will also send the link here in the chat when I finished my presentation. So I can highly recommend you to go and visit this webinar. It will be much more deeper and going under the hood than my high-level intro that you just saw. Okay, yeah, that was it from my side. Thank you. And with that, I'm handing over to Roman.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Very interesting. So now let's see if I also be capable to share my screen. Yeah, looks good. So also from my side, good afternoon and welcome. Excited to be here to present a different topic than LLM Optimizer conference, ADaptTo conference. And yeah, we're going to tear off the bandroll and open the box and really deep dive. So first of all, I'm probably going to tell you a bit about what ADaptTo conference actually is. Not everybody in the call knows about it. Also going to tell you the secret why it's called ADaptTo. Then we go back in memory lane. We really, I think for the first time, we present the history of ADaptTo. That's going to be interesting. And last but not least, for sure, also going to tell you a bit about this year's conference content and the highlight. And yeah, hopefully we are done before the LLM Optimizer tech thing starts. Okay, but first of all, who is here? I am Roman. I'm one of the managing directors from DYE Conclusion. DYE Conclusion is an Adobe partner, so implementation and consulting partner. I work with AEM since, let's say, the stone age of AEM. I think it's more than 20 years now. I also was being promoted or announced to AEM champion this year. And I'm the moderator and host of ADaptTo conference. That's also like one of the reasons I'm going to present today. And yeah, I'm very DACH because I'm Swiss, but I live in Germany, Munich now since 15 years. ADaptTo conference in a nutshell. What's it all about? ADaptTo conference is Europe's largest AEM developer conference. And it's probably not also just the largest one, it's probably also the most famous one. And it's a 3-day on-site conference. So actually quite long, 3 full days. It's happening in Berlin, and it's 100% focusing on Adobe Experience Manager, but also on the related Apache open source stack all around Apache Sling. Some of you, probably more from the technical side, know that like classic AEM is built on Apache Sling, on Oak, on Jackrabbit, on several open source products. These products also were all invented by Adobe at the end, but made open source, and they're kind of the fundamental of AEM. And what's also special about ADaptTo, it's a technical conference. So it is from developers for developers. That's like kind of the mantra. And there are going to be 0 marketing talks, no sales talks. So it really is like very, very techy. And what's also a nice thing is like for networking purpose, because the who is who of AEM engineering is going to be present. So there are always about 25% of all participants are from the AEM Adobe Engineering department. Yeah, and it's hosted by us. What can you expect, or what's going on at the ADaptTo conference? First of all, we have presentations, we have exciting technical presentations, but we also have like demos, showcases, panel discussions, and the Ask the Expert session. This is like a quite nice format we do like every year. It's always happening on the second day in the late afternoon till the evening, which is like a fully different format. There we have like different booths or tables, and every table has like a very specific topic. Like for example, AEM core components, or another one could be about DevOps, and then we have maybe one about edge delivery services, and you have like the real experts on this table. And the participants, they float through the hall, go there, have discussions, ask questions, solve riddles, and you really can get into interaction with like all these technical specialists. Then we're hosting roundtables. There's everywhere, like for example, a Sling committer roundtable. There's an AEM champions roundtable. And we have our lightning talks. Lightning talks is kind of an unconference format. It's always at the very end of the conference. So like the participants will think like, oh, that was like really cool. And I would also like to be on stage now and have something to show. They have the opportunity for like a 10-minute window on main stage to present something. It does not have to be like this nice and shiny presentation. Maybe just open your IDE and show something you developed and you want to tell the community, because that's all at the end. It's a big AEM tech community event. And it's a good opportunity for networking. And I've heard the food is also quite decent. AdaptTo, where does the name come from? This especially for the non-tech people here. AdaptTo is an Apache Sling method, and it's very specific to Apache Sling. So AdaptTo is actually quite old, 2011. And at that point in time, Sling was like the big new thing, like AI today. And yeah, somebody thought that like this AdaptTo would be a cool name for the conference as well. And so it happened. So the method AdaptTo, yeah, that's where it comes from. Let's go back in memory lane and have a look about the history of AdaptTo conference. But first, we stay at the present. As I said, AdaptTo is not just the largest developer conference here in Europe, it's also the most famous one, especially before and after and during the conference. LinkedIn, for example, is fully on fire. It took me maybe about 2 minutes to just screenshot like some of these posts, and it's not even posts were like somewhere from AdaptTo itself. It's just about from competitors, from people participating, and so on. So there's a lot of noise, and it gets more every year. So it really is like a cornerstone of the whole AEM developer community. But it was not always like that. So a long time ago, in 2011, and just to mention that, 2011, so that makes AdaptTo conference even older than Adobe's flagship event, the Summit. In 2011, somebody had like an idea for something very similar that we do here with this user group. Is like, let's do a meetup. Let's do an Apache Sling meetup. They wanted to do it in Berlin, and then they said, okay, well, of course we do it in Berlin, and probably people from the engineering in Basel will come, and so they won't come for on-site thing for just like a few hours. Let's be bold, and let's do 2 days. They rented some space at the Beta House in Berlin, and 8 speakers, 10 talks, and already the lightning talks at the very first AdaptTo. And let's see what's happening. And 50 people came, so that was like big success, and it was the fundament and the start. And so it went on, and so like having like this successful meetup in 2011, why not doing it the next year again? And in 2012, we've been even bolder and said, let's do 3 days. Let's see if that works. So 21 talks were planned, and location was being changed because something bigger was needed. So it was in the supermarket, that's the name of the location, and 110 people came. And that was a success. And yeah, why not getting bigger? And for 2013, the first ADaptTo at Kulturbrauerei happened. And Kulturbrauerei is like the iconic venue where most of the ADaptTo conferences happened, and also the recent ones happen. Was like the first day. The program more or less stayed the same. The hackathon was introduced for the first time. So really like do some coding together, create something nice. And yeah, and it proceeded from 2014 till 2017. We started the Kulturbrauerei, and there were always around 200 people participating. It's also the maximum Kulturbrauerei is capable to handle. Why is that? Because it's a quite big venue. When you participate at ADaptTo conference, you don't have like just this kind of chair. You're sitting and watching the presentation. Every participant has like a desk in front where he can put his laptop. You have like the cables for electricity. You have like the proper internet so that you also can do real life coding, that what you see on stage, you can try it out on your laptop directly. And having such an infrastructure, that needs space. And that's the reason Kulturbrauerei is always sold out when the 200 tickets are sold. In 2017, that happened very early. Very early in the process of ticket selling, the tickets were gone. And I think there was a very long list, waiting list for people maybe get a spot if somebody cancels. So the idea was that, okay, more people want to come. We should give them the opportunity. So why not taking a bigger location? And then the next ADaptTo happened at Schinkenhalle in Potsdam, and it was people-wise the biggest one by now, with 270 participants. But it was not Berlin anymore; it was Potsdam, and the participants, especially the ones who came from abroad or from other countries, they were not so fond about Potsdam because it's just kind of a small town city. So they said, hey, we want to be in Berlin. And yeah, we always took feedback very seriously to improve our conference. And so we decided, okay, now we have to bring it back to Berlin. And so in 2019, we were in the Cosmos in Berlin, and the Cosmos is like a huge venue. So we had capability for like several hundred people. But then we also the first time realized there's like a limit. The community is not infinity big. So it's always going to be probably around 200 plus people who want to join. In 2020, something happened, something unexpected. A virus came and locked us all down. It also locked down ADaptTo conference. It was not thinkable to do something like that and on as a conference like that. So we had to switch for the first time the format, and that was a challenge, like from having like an on-site format to put that into a fully remote format. But we made it happen, and we had two ADaptTo conferences who were like fully remote. In 2021, after the second remote ADaptTo conference, we considered it's not the same. It's not the same spirit. It's nice to have something remote, but to get to network, to have people in the room, it's much more exciting, much more enlightening. And we said, no, we're not going to do that again. And 2022, for the first year, there was no ADaptTo conference. Was that the end? Yeah, we said maybe. We also considered, are people coming back for a 3-day conference after the whole pandemic? Shouldn't it all be like remote? And we were like, okay, probably. That was it for ADaptTo. But then beginning of 2023, we said, no, we have to try it out once more. Maybe it's working after the pandemic. We don't know. We were like, maybe nobody is coming. So it was also a big financial risk to go. But we said, okay, let's bring it back. And let's bring it back where it really all started. Bring it back to iconic Kulturbrauerei for like once more. And yeah, we've done that, and the format still did work, and it was still, we had full house in 2023. And yeah, and since then we stick like to this recipe and had like since the pandemic 3 AdaptTo conferences, all with the same format. Enough about history. Let's talk about content. Let's have a look what actually happened at AdaptTo 2025. First, we had 65 talk requests. That's quite a bit, considering we just have like 27 free spots to get on stage. What I maybe should mention, what's a bit different is from other conferences. Other conferences kind of do their lineup. So, for example, okay, we have people XYZ present that. No, we're like fully community driven. So people from the community, from partners, from customers, or from Adobe itself said, okay, I have this topic. And then a program committee consisting of people from Adobe and from us decide what would be the most proper program. And we had like a lot of requests. So just like every second or third talk actually made it. And this year in 2025, we had a lot of classic AEM stuff. It was a big difference, for example, to 2024, where it was like very edge delivery services heavy. So this year was a bit less. It was a very good mixture, actually. And the funny thing, Sling is still not dead. We even had like dedicated Sling talks. And for the first time, there's always a first, commerce as a cloud service also made it on stage. And as you probably know, commerce as a cloud service, like Adobe's new SaaS commerce solution, also uses like edge delivery services as a front end. So it's now very related to Adobe Experience Manager. And for sure, AI was the secret sauce for almost all the talks everywhere was some AI. So let's go through the days and also some impressions. Day one, after the nice welcome words, we've directly started with like a very interesting talk, which was about from the AEM as a cloud service operation team. Imagine they run in their cloud thousands of applications, thousands of websites. There you have like different problems and struggles, and they really gave us great insights about what's going on in their daily work, how they solve problems and so on, having like such a scalable solution. Also impressive number-wise was like the talk about 1 million content fragments. That's a bit, especially the ones who work with content fragments. A single customer, a single project, 1 million content fragments. How do you handle them? How do you structure them that you still find your content? And how do you manage and expose your APIs? How do you work with them that you get results when the system has to fetch so much data and transforms it without running into a timeout? That was like super cool, real life experience solution solving. Redirect management was also on stage. Redirects, always a big topic in every web project. Then we had, for example, a sneak preview from the new AEM AI search. I've heard at DevLive should be released in Q1 from Adobe, which is going to be the first time a very powerful search has been part of the package. And the whole day ended up with a very cool presentation about a new automation tool called ACM tool, when I remember correctly, which will be the replacement of good old the Groovy script thing, which is like installed on many AEM installation. And the cool thing, the tool has been built by the community for the community, so it's open source. Day two, I call it the fun day. Actually, at AdaptTo, all the days are fun, but this day is especially fun because we have like not just presentation, we also have like more mixed and interactive formats. We started in the morning with like a very cool talk about universal editor and extensibility. So that was like always in the part a bit of a topic that the universality you can't really extend it to the how you want it, and that changed now a bit, quite a bit with the Act Builder and so on. And that was like also cool to see real life project experiences, how to extend them. Then we had several edge delivery services talks that day. For me, the most impressive one was the China performance thing. Because as you probably know, when you run a Western website and you have customers or visitors from China on it, their performance is just terrible because there's this great firewall in between and it's just not working out. And in the past, it was always difficult to find like a proper and say also financially payable solution that you for your like all your visitors in China, which is like a big part of the whole world. And the team on stage really provided a very cool solution how to solve that in a very cool way. And those are very good examples about simulating the performance for somebody in China reaching your websites and stuff like that. Then 6.5 long time support, LTS, was being released probably a bit more than a year ago. And now we had like the first migration experiences. How is it? How do you do it? How can you improve it and stuff like that? That was also great. And then at the end of the day, we had the Meet Expert session. I've already explained, and we always have on today like our party, which is always quite fun. And this time was getting quite late, to be honest. Day 3, yes, some people, most people actually made it back on time. Some came a bit later because of the previous day. And we started with commerce on stage, which was also very cool because refreshing a bit something else. Especially day 3 was like a good mix between topics like, for example, the Accessibility Act. We had AEM forms on stage, how to build like really full-blown forms. We had also a sneak peek about trustable assets, which are also going to be 2 new features which will come into the product, where engineering already showed it. And the Sling history was good. A little bit how I told you, AdaptTo history was Bertrand on stage, the mastermind behind Sling. And he told the story about it. And the nice thing was like after like every chapter, he played some music on his instrument. So that was pretty cool. And we closed the day and also AdaptTo conference with our lightning talks format. And I had the impression this year the lightning talks were quite funny because there were a lot of laughs. It was really like a spontaneous, I show you something that was great. Yeah. So probably I should come time-wise to an end, but I want to bring like last but not least, my 3 key takeaways of this AdaptTo conference. First of all, Edge Delivery Services really matured. It was released also a while ago, but more than a year, and it was all about fast websites. And in my opinion, now it really is like, especially with DA editor, it's a full stack delivery and authoring environment, and did impressive progress. AI was everywhere, as I said, the secret sauce in most of the talks. But I think that was just the beginning. Probably next AdaptTo, especially the agentic part, which was being shown the first time at Developers Live, Adobe Developers Live 2 weeks ago, if I remember correctly. This whole agentic thing probably will be a big topic in future AdaptTo conferences, but already this time there was a lot of AI. But also stuff like operational excellence, governance, and compliance topics I actually did not expect on center stage. They made it on stage, and they were a super cool presentation combining technology, product, and this governance and compliance. yeah, for the ones who think, okay, that sounds cool, and I'm too bad I wasn't there, but I would like to know some stuff about, and would like to listen and see some of the talks. The good thing is everything is publicly available on YouTube. So all the talks they are being professionally recorded and available on YouTube's on the adaptTo channel. And yeah, fully free. You can consume the content there. And for all the other ones who say, yeah, okay, but I would like to be part of that. I would like to meet the community for whatever reason. Happy to announce we're going to be back next year. Clear date will be released soon, but it's going to be in September, end of September again. And it's going to be a special adaptTo because it's going to be our 15-year anniversary. And we have some really special stuff planned for the anniversary adaptTo. So yeah, would be great to see as many of you there. And with that, handing over to Eric. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you. I will share my screen as well for the last remaining slide. But thanks a lot to Roman and Thomas. So now I will, after this call, I learn a lot. I will go directly to LLM.now to check my website, and I will go to adaptTo for 2026 to see my calendar if I can come next year in September to Berlin. But I mean, now closing the topic, I will just, let's say, the keep momentum on the Adobe Experience Manager user group in the DAR region. We do indeed the meeting like we did right now today in virtually, where you can join. But we can also do the meeting in person. And actually, the next week we will have a meeting in person in Baden, in Switzerland, where we will talk about innovative insight, exploring edge delivery services versus the traditional AEM site. And we will try to get to know, if you still not use edge delivery services, what is the advantage you may have compared to the Adobe Experience Manager site. You can scan the QR code on the screen, and you will have access to other events, not only the DAR region, but wherever you are, and also not only Adobe Experience Manager, but other solution of Adobe. Thank you for your presence and attending the call today. We still have a couple of minutes, so I think if you have any question to Thomas or Roman, you can still maybe ask either on the chat, either take the voice on the camera, and we may have a short exchange if you have any question.
Yes, feel free to ask your questions, and also to add to Eric's announcements. We're also, of course, looking for volunteers who would like to contribute a topic to our next meetup. And we're also looking for volunteers who would like to host in-person meeting, preferable with a venue. Can be a customer, can be a partner in the DACH region. So yeah, if you would like to host an event, would be great. Please reach out to us. And if you would like to contribute the topic, can be really everything, right? Can be technical, can be non-technical, something cool you built, or nice use case, a great success story, whatever you would like to share. Please reach out, and we can include this in the next session, either virtually or in person. Yeah. So are there any questions? Please unmute yourself. I think you should all be able to speak and share even.
Yeah, the question I see on the chat for Gwena. Yes, the next meeting we will have next week, the 26th of November, will be in person in Switzerland, in Baden office. So if you go to the QR code, you will see the address, the time, and the location.
Okay, thank you. Got it. Because just I would like to know if there is like a link we can join remotely, because it will be not possible for me to go to Switzerland because I'm from France.
Yeah, so right now it's difficult to either we do virtual, either we do in person. The hybrid meetings we will try, but we need to have a good settings with the camera and the place as well. So we also learn from our side. So maybe next time we will try to find an hybrid version, but the next meetings it will be only in person.
Okay.
But if you have any, if you have any idea, as mentioned by Thomas, you would like to host, we can also do it virtually with your topic. We will try to have a mix in person. It can be also in person sometime in Germany, and we can also do virtual.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
I've got one question to you, Thomas, maybe. The LLM Optimizer, is it planned to also enable it for the partner sandboxes? Because right now it's not working for partner sandboxes.
Yeah, I think there are no plans yet to provide partner sandboxes because the tool is only usable if you have a real domain and a real website with traffic. Otherwise, there will be no data in it and nothing. So that's why for demo purposes, we only have this click dummy. And yeah, it really only makes sense if you have a real website you can connect to. Otherwise, you cannot do much with it.
I think you can connect it to any domain also, not only to the one which is inside the Cloud Manager.
You can connect it to any domain. Yeah. So in this free trial, you need to be a cloud service customer, so you can enable, but in general, you can connect it to any domain. Yeah, right.
Thanks for the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
One more question for me. It's Gena. If, for example, we have some question, we can just join the group on the, because we can access to the user group in the, I don't remember the address, but when we have everybody, if we have question, we can ask a question directly here. There is people we can contact or.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
maybe I can go back to the first slide. So give me a second. It was introduced at the beginning. Maybe no worries. I will show it again. Okay. So wait 2 seconds. Okay. So yes, we have several in the group. So now I will share the slide, which is displaying all the members. You can take
a screenshot.
Yeah, you can take contact with any of us, depending on our availability. So today I'm with Thomas. We are two of us, but you can contact with Yana or Kimon. You can find us either on LinkedIn or on the page directly of the events, and you can also, I think, contact us through this user group page.
Yes, it was. I mean, when I mean it was on the user group page, but I will have a look.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any question from anyone on the topic of today or on the user group in general? If not, I will give you the 2-minute break for for your next meeting. And I wish you all a nice day. Thank you a lot for participating to this event, and I hope we'll see you again in the next one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Bye
great
Bye-bye.
day. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.